Howdy, my name is Cody. I was a Totus Tuus Missionary in 2015 for Team Baraga, the Grizzlies. No, I'm just kidding. And one thing that God has worked through my life, that I learned through Totus Tuus, was definitely the teaching aspect. Was being able to teach, to share, to grow, and ultimately to evangelize through that teaching capability that Totus Tuus has definitely strengthened. I mean, you're teaching little kids about the faith, and sometimes it's not easy, and a lot of times it's a self-reflective exercise and seeing and knowing where you need to grow, and where you're not so confident in. And so really, Totus Tuus happened to come at just the right time, where I was thinking about seminary, and I was not very confident in my teaching ability in the faith. I went to Catholic schools all my life and things like that, and I could recite all the catechism or whatever, but really it was just I was never as confident in teaching that to others. I was never had that ability, never had that opportunity, never really wanted to do it. And Totus Tuus drew that out of me in such a way that every day I was doing it. Every day I was being put into a spot that I wasn't comfortable with, and that I had to rise to the occasion, and through the grace of God, I was able to teach those kids something about the faith. And so I ended up going to seminary after, just about a year later, in 2016, and went there for a couple of years, and eventually discerned out, but Totus Tuus still affects my life, even though I'm not a candidate for priesthood or anything like that, or continuing on that journey. Even 5 years later, it's really affecting my life. And that right now I still train people, I still evangelize, I still teach people about the faith. Not so much little kids anymore, but grown adults. And if you can handle a whole classroom full of little kids, or even if you can't, Totus Tuus would teach you. But you can, if you can do that, you can handle grown adults and teaching them. They're a lot better behaved, or at least for the most part they are. But really, Totus Tuus, totally yours, all yours, is that self-pouring out of yourself, that getting out of yourself, getting out of your comfort zone, and just giving of yourself as that gift back to God. He gave you all your capabilities, all your gifts, so might as well use them and give them back to Him, and let Him use them more than what you could. And so that teaching ability, going back to that, God has taught you like a good father. And, man or woman, in whatever vocation you're meant to be, or in whatever state of life you find yourself, whether you're, married or single, or, a religious brother or sister, you're called to be a father or mother. And that involves that teaching. So as a mother, you're going to teach your kids. As a father, you're going to teach your kids. Even if you're single, you're still called to be a father or mother for, the friends in your life, the less fortunate, the more vulnerable. And so really that can play into that part, every aspect of your life. You're always going to be teaching. You're always constantly going to be learning. And the best way to learn is to teach. That's how you're going to get that information really embedded into your brain, into your heart, is going to be to teach it. And so I recommend Totus Tuus to everybody, because no matter how great you are, Totus Tuus is going to humble you in the best way possible. It's going to test you, and really you're going to grow. You're going to grow in your faith. Thank you. God bless.